All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth episode of the Omchain Talks Season 2. I have just invited Rob from the Alchemy Pay. Rob, can you hear me? Okay, I'm assuming he's just connecting now. Um, Before we start, I just wanted to give a quick update on the Chain community. We have an ongoing vote. We have actually two votes that are ongoing on the web app. You can just go to app.omchain.io/vote to see the ongoing DAO governance proposals. Hi, Rob. I am assuming you can hear me right now. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Osman. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you here. For those who didn't have time to read the description of this space, today we'll be exploring what is Alchemy Pay and the importance of fiat gateways, and we'll understand what the solutions are provided by the Alchemy Pay, which solutions are provided by the Alchemy Pay, and also what is next for the Alchemy ecosystem. So before we start, first I would like to understand how things are going. So let's just start with the first question that I have in my mind. Rob, could you tell us more about yourself and how did you started working with the Alchemy Pay? I mean, like, out of all the fields in the blockchain, because like you could be
hmm
working with some DeFi protocol, you could be
hmm
working with a game, you could be working with a centralized exchange. What made you start
Yeah.
working with Alchemy Pay?
Yeah, I suppose now you put it that way, it's quite a good question. Yeah, I mean, the subsector we're in is payments, and it's a specific one, which is integrating fiat and crypto, bringing the two sides together. So um, I, I found payments fascinating, really. I studied also the MIT open source blockchain and money uh, course about 3 years ago, and found that very interesting as well. Really made me sort of take note of blockchain, of Bitcoin as well. Of course, I knew about Bitcoin as the asset. Then I was kind of excited by DeFi on Ethereum a few years ago, still am. And then just started to specialize in DeFi. I'm really convinced by blockchain for money. Its other applications, yeah, still always keeping an open mind and interested in developments. But my key interest, I suppose, is payments really.
That's really cool. Because like if you think about cryptocurrencies at the end, initially with Bitcoin, it
hmm
was aimed at so that the individual people could be mining their own coins. But with the increasing difficulty, it became hard, and later we started seeing tokens that are being issued, and mining
hmm
kind of became like a, how do I say, kind of business. It's no more like a hobby. You cannot hobby mine. You cannot mine any tokens or anything. You
hmm
more or less just lose money on electricity. So with that being said, now it was impossible for people to naturally obtain some, cryptocurrencies or tokens. And then people just said like, okay, we have the need to have a medium of exchange so that we can buy
hmm
coins and stuff. But with the current state, in order for, let's say, buy a token that is not issued on the, let's say, Ethereum blockchain, that is on
Yeah.
some other layer too, you have to go through, like, first go to the exchange, make
hmm
your have your KYC done, and then deposit your money. Wait for a few days for your money to clear, and then buy the tokens, and then withdraw them to your Ethereum wallet, and then bridge it to the second layer or
Yeah.
blockchain, and then buy that
It's a
token.
hassle.
Stuff like
Yes,
that.
it's a hassle even for crypto natives, people who are experts in the space. There's a lot more steps that
Exactly.
you don't always want to do. And yeah, I mean, I think, well, you touched on a couple of things there, but in terms of mining, yeah, I mean, the idea of bringing together traditional fiat currency and cryptocurrency and making it seamless movement is really because, yeah, you're absolutely right. Most people are not getting paid in crypto, and most people are not mining crypto. So when they first get into it, they're going to have to enter with fiat funds or use fiat funds to get hold of tokens. Maybe someone could gift it or whatever, but in general. So that's a really important thing to understand. At this stage, we're not at the point of this chain cryptocurrency utopia or idealistic vision that a lot of have. We're at a stage where the progress between traditional finance and cryptocurrency has to be sort of incremental. I think for multiple reasons. Yeah, carry on, Osman. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as you have just said, like 10 years ago, if you asked me how do I get some crypto, I would
Yeah.
say like, okay, go to Bitcoin Talk, find some, crypto, whichever crypto you want to get, and then, download the wallet, download the core,
Yeah.
download the core code, and then synchronize with the network and start
Mm,
mining. That's how
mm,
you obtain.
mm.
But now it's, impossible to
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
impossible, and
So that's
it's not
that's.
practical if we want to have this have major global adoption. Most people are not going to do that. Well, but I mean, it's still early days. Still early days in that regard.
Yep.
So we tell what, because people don't necessarily need to know all the ins and outs of the technology that they have in their hand in regards to a phone, for example. So regarding blockchain, we kind of envisage that most of it will happen in the background without people being aware. That the technology is working away in the back end. Yeah, the idea of being able to put your token on, to be able to put an on ramp, an off ramp directly on your application, directly on your website is just major for token issuers. It's major for dApp developers. Anyone who has an NFT
Mhm.
platform, anyone who has a blockchain and a native token on that blockchain. Gaming such as you guys, gaming. I mean, you guys are really supporting the arts and interested in the creative aspects of
Mhm.
blockchain. The monetization of that art is obviously, a major facet with that. The immutability as well. But yeah, to be able to have an on ramp on your site makes it so much more appealing. Because in your case, for there could be a certain collection where someone just is only interested. They don't know anything about crypto. They're only interested in that one piece of art or that one event,
Mhm.
that's happening on your blockchain. Maybe a friend's told them, they found out about it, but they go to your application, and then immediately, or from your side of your app, they have to then leave again to go and figure out about exchanges, to go through the process of setting up an exchange, an account on an exchange, getting the right token for Omchain, and it's gonna put a lot of people off right from the very start. So the idea
Yep.
of being able to integrate much more seamlessly, much more quickly, and then once people are using blockchain, once they're in there on cryptocurrency, they'll see the way it functions is superior to what they've been using in the past. So it's a step.
Yep, exactly. That's the main problem because, like, when people first hear about our project or our blockchain infrastructure, and when once they really like it, they're like, "How do I buy
Yeah.
it?" And I'm like, "I can gift you some, but I'm not gonna be able to gift you like, I
It's
don't
not a
know,
way to, yeah,
$5,000, $10,000
it's not
for
a
it."
way to build the
Yeah,
community as a general
exactly,
strategy.
exactly,
Starts to become a very
exactly. I mean,
costly
just
process. Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah,
yep. So that's like, I'm telling them, okay, you have to go to that exchange, make an
yeah,
account, verify your email, go
yeah,
back, set up your two-factor authentication,
yeah.
all sorts of problems. So that brings up another question for
Hmm.
me. Could you please tell us what is Alchemy Pay? What are you guys actually
Oh
building?
yeah,
Like,
okay.
we've been talking about all those
Oh
problems,
right,
but
okay.
what are you guys
Yeah,
actually
so
building?
really mainstream friendly, really accessible payment gateway. Yeah, anything that allows people to transact and move funds between cryptocurrency and traditional local or fiat currency, and vice versa. So in either direction, that's generally known as on ramping or off ramping. So we have an on ramp and off ramp. We originally began. So we're based in Singapore. Originally began in 2018. Our founders come from HSBC, Mastercard, PayPal, a number of different sort of traditional players in the payments space. And originally put together a crypto payment acceptance system for merchants. So that's a hands-off system. A hands-off system means that the merchant themselves doesn't actually touch the crypto, okay? Because for them, there could be some sort of issues in terms of accounting, in terms of it wouldn't be in terms of regulation, but there are complications in dealing with also volatility as well. So we come in as the third party. We accept the cryptocurrency, the inbound cryptocurrency from a client, a customer, let's say, online or in some cases in-store customer. We take that crypto, we convert it to the merchant's local fiat currency and pay out to them in their local. So that's a hands-off system. Now, of course, with that you need a network around the world of exchanges that can make exchanges either into stable coins or out into fiat. You have to also be able to purchase the crypto. You have to be able to use remittance companies to remit for off ramping, but also for paying out to the merchant. So you're putting together, and of course a relationship with all the major layer one, layer two networks, which is really what we have now. So it's an infrastructure for doing all sorts of things. Now, crypto payments, the demand is not there. Most people are using crypto at this point to some degree for speculation. I mean, I think there is more going on than just speculation, but people are not using it for everyday payments, But we took the infrastructure and we simply sort of redirected a lot of it so that we launched the on ramp and the off ramp, and also an NFT checkout, which just went live a few weeks ago, but still not fully launched actually. Yeah, so there we go. That's what we do. Is there?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, how do I say, important that you guys are building payment infrastructure as well, because um, prior to this talks, I was just checking the numbers and
Mm,
realized that there are more than 1 billion people unbanked, especially in the Middle East and
mm-hmm,
Northern
mm-hmm,
Africa
mm-hmm.
region in the world, as well as South
Yeah,
America. So it's I mean, like, maybe for people who have easy access to financial
mm,
services such as apps like Cash App or similar applications,
mm-hmm.
crypto payments are not how do I s- are not the easiest way to go. But for some people who cannot access those applications,
Yeah,
because often the companies who are facilitating those businesses have to have the licenses, and I know some countries who don't even have those regulations set up yet, so you can't establish a
yeah,
business there, or due to risk policies. But crypto can become a very good alternative when there are, how do I say, no way of receiving payments from other individuals, or if you're a business, receiving payments from your customers. So it's really nice and how do I say, neat that you guys are also building a payment structure, because I mean, like, today, maybe, as I have mentioned, like, economically successful countries do not
mm,
need that, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to need that forever.
mm,
I personally find myself, I personally find it easier to make payments with crypto, even though, like, it's not legal to make payments with cryptocurrencies where I am based in right now. But I used to find it much more easier, especially for international transfers, because usually those take a few days
yeah.
to clear. So I am 100% sure that
Yeah, overseas
it's gonna be
payments,
utilized.
remittances,
Yeah.
absolutely big difference. And actually, this is another thing. Alchemy Pay, we're not always talking about okay, what's going to happen with payments in the future. Yes, of course, we have our finger on the pulse and we understand what's possible with the technology, but we're really interested in what works today. What works for people today, what does actually function. This is another thing actually, as you're talking about places where people have limited or less access to traditional finance, traditional banking. Actually, we've made it a real focus to reach people in emerging markets. Places where people are using mobile wallets, so fiat mobile wallets, as opposed to say credit cards or debit cards. So these are alternative payment methods, and or domestic banking systems. So, for example, PIX is the domestic banking system or transactional system, payment system in Brazil, and that has 116 million users. So that is massive. If you go to Philippines, Gcash, has about 60 million users. So these are really major payment methods for people where, and these are the same people where crypto actually has got the opportunity to help them, to improve the financial system that they or the systems they can use for their everyday uses for money. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, what you have just said, I just wanted to add that, again, like, in the future, we're always saying that in the future, but right now I can clearly say that Swift and international wire
Yeah.
transfers are not working.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay like 18 euros to just send like 50 euros to some friend that
Yeah.
I am buying some
Yeah.
painting from. So it's like it doesn't work right now. I am glad that crypto is here. I am glad that people like
Mm.
you and teams like your team are building some things that are going to solve those problems, and
Yeah.
actually solving today,
Yeah.
not tomorrow, not like in a
Yeah.
month,
Absolutely.
solving literally today.
Absolutely, but don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still costs that there is a cost to onboarding from fiat to crypto and vice versa. We're constantly now those costs are constantly coming down, but we still are at the point of requiring a third party. So in this case, it would be us who is able to work with traditional financial institutions, able to work with card issuers, with banks. So we have a direct relationship. Just been listed as an official service provider for Visa, in fact, which was another good sign for us at the end of, right at the beginning of this year, in fact, as well. So yeah, that idea of moving funds between crypto and fiat, yeah, it can be a complicated one, but if we get that right, then really that is the major obstacle to adoption, or certainly what we're focused on in terms of enabling the progression of this.
Yep. So just that you have mentioned visa.
Mm.
Like I was wondering, like, and also you have mentioned some different regions like Brazil and Singapore. So like, do you only support Visa or Mastercard, or do you support others? How do I say national
Yeah,
card issuers, or like do you support like Apple Pay, Google
yeah,
Pay, or
yeah,
like
yeah.
any other payment methods? Want to tell us
Yeah,
more
sure.
about them, because
So
I'm
basically,
curious, like which ones you
these are
support.
off ramps, on ramps that people can use to sell their token, let's say on their application, on their website, for users who want to pay with their Visa cards, Mastercards. Absolutely, you're right. So 173 countries, users from 173 countries can use Mastercard and Visa to pay by crypto. They can also use Apple Pay. In a couple of weeks, Google Pay will be live, or it should actually be live end of next week. So Apple Pay just went live just before Christmas, now fully launched. And yeah, so MasterCard, Visa. But then, yeah, when I said things like Pix, Momo Pay, Vital Pay, in Gcash, what else we got? Yeah, so many different, domestic bank
Sorry to
transfers. Yeah,
interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but like I think you got a lot of integrations that you can't even remember all of them, because like you have mentioned 173 countries.
yeah.
I mean, like more or less, I'm assuming you're supporting everything in the world.
Well, basically all countries except like Bangladesh, Burundi, Cuba, China, Iran, Iraq. So, I mean, Pakistan. There are exceptions, Venezuela. So there are exceptions in terms of Visa and Mastercard, yeah. But in terms of like specialists, like our specialist subject, I guess you could say, is Latin America and Southeast Asia. So we
I mean,
have local. So for developers and app developers who want to target, or their main community is in those areas in Latin America or Southeast Asia, then we're going to have local payment methods that people can use for almost 100% conversion rate. Meaning, like when you use like Mastercard or Visa, because you're buying crypto, it's considered high risk. So there's also a high proportion of card transactions that will be declined. Yeah. Now you could
mhm.
try again the next day and you would be accepted. Okay. It can be a funny thing like that, but there's a higher chance. But with local payment methods, it's almost 100% conversion rate, and
Mhm.
it's a lot cheaper, about half the price in terms of fees.
I mean, like I was wondering. I mean, why are you targeting Latin America as well as Southeast Asia? I mean, like,
Yeah.
are is there something different in those regions than the other parts of the world, or is it because like the crypto adoption in those countries are higher?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just curious about the main
Yeah.
reason. Or
So it's a couple of things. So yeah, crypto adoption is higher. As we said, there is a reason why crypto actually really can improve the financial situation of people, individual cities, citizens of the country. Particularly in developing nations. Okay, so adoption can be higher, but also you've got the element of the gig economy, right? And that's people who use crypto gaming, maybe NFTs, maybe who are developing their own dApps, things like that. They're tending to come from Southeast Asia. Tending to come from Southeast Asia. Also, Latin America has other different kinds of reasons. I'd say the gig economy more is Southeast Asia. So you look at Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines. These are major places where people are actually using crypto, not just accumulating crypto. For speculative purposes. Yeah, but
yeah,
also from our
I
point of
mean,
sorry, just to finish, from our point of view,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fact
Go
that
on,
there's so
please.
many of these alternative payment methods which are so important now. I don't know where you're based, Osman, but I'm based in Europe. I'm in Germany actually, and over here we don't realize the importance of alternative payment methods. So for a start, Apple Pay and Google Pay, you link your card to it anyway. But in other countries, you have these proper fiat mobile wallets, which really are ubiquitous. Particularly, obviously, you know about them in China, but in Southeast Asia in particular, they are big and getting very big in Latin America as well. So that was another big thing for us. We knew we could have sort of a unique place in the market, in terms of the on and off ramp space.
Yeah, I think the main reason I am based in Turkey right
Ah,
now. We also have, how do I say, huge crypto adoption,
yes.
not in the sense of development of blockchain based projects, but in the sense of
Escaping the
holding,
lira.
trading, and
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I don't want to say that, but that's the
yeah,
truth. Because and also in the Latin America as well as the Southeast Asia, I am seeing a pattern
Hmm.
here. When countries are economically, how do I say, when countries do not have economical
Yes.
stability, then the citizens of those countries start looking for alternative investment methods as well as alternative payment
Well, I think
methods.
in a more basic
Um,
way, it's simply to preserve the value of the work they've just done the month before. You know, if your currency is deflating at 100% per year, you know, really
More than 100% in my
yeah,
case.
then you
More than
are, you know, the
100%.
actual value of the work you're doing on a daily basis, you know, is significantly less. It's half. You know, so it's perfectly understandable.
Yep, yep. And just like you have said, I mean, when I was in US, I realized that, I mean, like the first time I went to a bank in US, I mean, like even before than that, first time when I was getting my paycheck, like, wait, you guys are still actually printing things that I have to go and deposit to some ATM or like bank
Yeah,
office for me to get my
yeah,
money? And they were like, yeah, that's how we do it. And I'm like, couldn't you just, send me my money online?
yeah, yeah.
And they're like, no, it's not how it's done. This is how it's done. And then I was like, wait, how do people tolerate this? But
How do they tolerate
because
it?
in Turkey, yeah, in Turkey, it's like if you're, let's say, supposed to get your salary on the 5th of the
Yeah,
month and you don't get it by 5th, on the 6th, you call your, employer and you start
yeah,
complaining because you have this, how do I say, you worry about it. You worry that you won't be able to get your money, or, you are living on the edge that
yeah,
you
yeah.
worry
I
that you won't be
understand.
able to pay your
I
rent
understand.
in time. You won't be able to pay your utility bills in
Mm,
time.
mm,
So that's
mm.
why, it's like in Turkey right now, I can say that the banking
Yeah.
infrastructure is the best in the world. Right now in Turkey, I can open a bank account for, I don't know, like Japanese yen or Norwegian kronas within 20 seconds. Even if I can open
Well, then,
a
so
bank
surely
account
everyone's
for,
moved to the dollar. Is that right?
yeah, that's
And
yeah,
they can do that
that's
legally
whole
or
another
within a
topic.
certain amount? They can only do
It's
certain amounts, I expect.
no, it's legal. Then the government takes some taxes as well,
Foreign
but that's also why
exchange
US,
taxes. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's why the USDT, actual stable currencies,
Yeah.
right now trade at a premium price than the local exchange price. For
Yes.
example, I think right now within the local currency, one USDT is like 1.10, 1.02
Hmm.
dollars or something like that. So, but the main problem I'm seeing here is that if my money is not being transferred to my friend or my family within 15 minutes, I'm gonna call the bank. I cannot accept that, it's not, being sent within 15 minutes. I would start, worrying. I would think that there is something wrong
But
because
that's the
I was given
parameters.
that
But
infrastructure.
that's the parameters that most people work in. You know, they do have to
Hmm.
tolerate, you know, less than instant transaction times and less than
Yeah.
zero, you know, worse than zero, you know, 0% transaction
Hmm.
cost. You know, there is a
Yeah, yeah,
cost
yeah.
to
But
banking, there is
but
a cost to
mhm.
crypto too. You know, but it can
Yeah,
be
but
less.
but the thing is, Rob.
Yeah,
But the thing is, Rob. Over in United, it's not an issue. It's like people say, "Hey, I have sent your money. It's gonna arrive to you tomorrow, or within
yeah,
2 days, or within three
yeah.
days." And it's like, it's okay. It's
Well,
like for those
for some
people,
people.
it's okay.
You know, there are
Yeah,
people for
yeah. I
whom
mean, like for
that
some
would
people.
knock all their, you know, that would put them in that overdraft, and suddenly they can't pay this
Mhm.
bill and that bill. You know, so that, I mean, that's also a that's bigger than just traditional finance versus cryptocurrency. You know, as well. But in
Mhm.
Turkey, I understand the whole situation is much more extreme. You
Yep.
know,
Yep. So that's what I was gonna
yeah.
say. Like then I realized in countries where there is like economic growth and where there is like there are not so many economical
Hmm.
problems, where there is not so many inflational problems. I am not saying high
Hmm.
inflation, because high inflation is some concept, some things are getting expensive. But when you have high inflation, there are also effects. So in those countries, I am seeing that crypto adoption is still taking some time, which is giving me a hope because sooner or later, I mean, like right now, I'm living in Turkey. I am feeling and experiencing those things.
Hmm.
I am like from the first hand seeing how problematic the system is. So I have a belief that with time, people living in countries, especially in North America and Europe, will also realize that hey, there is a better option. Because right now I'm looking at the crypto and I am like, this is better
Yeah,
option.
absolutely.
Like I can have my
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies, I can transfer them 724, I can hold them in
Yeah,
my
you
wallet,
keep
I don't
them.
have
Yeah.
to tell anyone anything
Yeah.
about it. So those people maybe do not realize it to the full
Hmm.
extent, but I am 100% sure
Yeah.
that they will realize it
Yeah, I
later
absolutely
on.
agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's a superior form of banking. Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
so I have another
Yeah, go
question
on.
about the
Yeah, yeah.
Alchemy Pay. If we can go back to the
Yeah.
topic, so could you tell us the main differences?
Yeah.
I mean, like I think you also have the KYC process
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
with the
that's right.
Alchemy Pay,
Yeah.
but what are the main differences? Could you tell us more about the main differences of Alchemy Pay and purchasing some crypto tokens from a centralized
Yeah,
exchange?
so from a centralized exchange, you have to go and set up an account with them. You're then having to pay higher prices and take more steps and use a whole new platform to buy crypto. You also, when you buy it from an exchange, the key difference is you're not holding your crypto; they're holding it for you. You know, you can take it off the exchange, of course, and take it to your own personal crypto wallet, hot or cold wallet. But if you use a gateway such as us, we don't custody your crypto. We purchase it on behalf of you. We take the fiat payment because we're licensed to do so. We're regulated. We're within compliance regulations to be able to accept these fiat payments. We then have crypto exchange licenses, so we're able to then go and convert that fiat to crypto. So we're able to go and make the purchase of crypto, you know, using OTC or centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges, and then we send that directly to the customer. Okay, so the customer, the user, is always, you know, from the moment they purchase the crypto, they have it under their control, under their custody. So something like FTT token or the problems with FTX, you know, simply don't happen with a
That's what I
payment
was gonna
gateway.
say.
You know, so we do work with centralized exchanges. We understand that they're huge entities within the entire industry. You know, really important, and you know, it's how most of us got involved in the first place. Obviously, not you with your mining rig, but like for most people. But actually, you know, if we want to push the decentralized aspects forward, then people being encouraged to have custody of their own crypto is really key to that. You know, it would mean a lot less of these fraud cases. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you said that when you buy it from a centralized exchange, you give the custody to them.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the FTX, and I was like, maybe they also don't, have the custodian assets. They might be saying
Oh,
that
they
they're
say
selling
they
you
do,
something, but
but they've
yeah,
already
yeah. I
given
mean,
them
like
away somewhere else.
you,
Yeah, probably.
yeah. I mean, like you just assume and you hope and you believe that this some
Yeah,
guy that is
yeah,
tweeting on a Twitter is not going to be stealing your
yeah,
crypto. But in the case of FTX, sadly,
yeah,
that generous guy who was trying to save the
yeah,
Earth, who was trying to help people
yeah,
with his donations, didn't hold the crypto assets which he should have been
yeah,
holding. So it's also, I think, the major risk, because for businesses as well, like let's say if I am selling something, I would like to give the option for my clients that they pay me in bitcoins
hmm,
or any other stable currency or any other crypto
yeah,
token.
absolutely.
But I might not want to be taking the risk of price changes. I might not want to be banking all my assets in bitcoin,
Yeah,
because at the end of the month I have to pay salaries of my
yeah,
employees. So that's I think very important to understand, because exchanges are good. Yeah, they're there, they are doing their business, but what you guys are
yeah,
providing is actually, I think, more, how do I say, touching people's
yeah. And I think
lives.
it's more in line
uh,
with the general ethos behind crypto in the first place. You know,
yep.
allowing people to do their banking themselves as much as possible and between one another as much as possible, as directly as possible. You know, so yeah, I think it's really in line with that. I think as well, you know, the idea of needing to pay your, let's say, your work staff or something like that. You know, that is another thing we do, another function we do. You know, we have got all kinds of bespoke integrations that we've done or systems we've set up where we've allowed people to sort of it's enabling people to off ramp from crypto to fiat, for example, and that's, you know, that's business to business solutions, you know, rather than direct to customer. So with the ramp, you know, the plugin that goes directly on crypto dApps or Web3 applications, whatever, you know, that's direct to customer. But yeah, the idea of, you know, seamless off ramping, seamless on ramping in just about every scenario, you know, is where we fit in, is where we have our place in the market, you know. Yeah, and I think it's a key place in terms of accessibility. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. But I want to bring the topic back to the crypto payments, because the name of the company is, or the project
Yep.
is Alchemy
Oh
Pay.
yes, okay.
So yeah, and what about the crypto payments? I mean, like you guys first started with crypto payments,
Yes, that's
right?
right.
Um, so I am thinking about all the chargebacks, all the customer
Yes.
complaints, or all the vendor complaints, or maybe there are none. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, my question is like, what are the successes and challenges of providing such
Yeah.
service? I am thinking in my mind right now. I am thinking that the head office is kind of like every day. How do I say? Having a lot of problems getting chargebacks and so on. But could you please give us more insight? Maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's not so hard for businesses to integrate. Maybe it's not the most practic how do I say aspect of it. Could you tell us more about the successes and challenges of providing a crypto payment system?
Yeah, I think. Well, what we found is first of all, what we found is that although we really have set up the system so that you can do it, in bricks and mortar stores, you can do it. Not just online. You can do it. Well, we say offline, but I think that gets confused. In payment space, offline, meaning not at a just having the terminal, the payment terminal, the POS terminal, and in a store you need to train everyone to understand how to use it. The ironic thing is that when someone wants to pay with crypto, when a customer wants to pay with crypto, they're the ones who know what they're doing, and usually the person behind the counter doesn't know what they're doing, or needs to be trained on it, because only a crypto native or someone who understands, their crypto wallet and how that works, QR codes, how it converts to the rate of, let's say, the dollar, they've already come prepared. But people in a store need to be kind of trained into it. So that's a difficult thing. We actually did some offline events, so some real world events, NFT, Artiverse, which was a huge exhibition in Hong Kong. I think it took like 7 stories in this shopping mall, this massive place, and this massive exhibition. And we facilitated crypto payments. People could buy NFTs on site there. Singapore Blockchain Week was a huge event for us because we're from Singapore. So it was a big deal for us, and it was during F1, the Formula One weekend. So we facilitated crypto payments for which networks was it? Solana, Binance Chain, Tron. Yeah, we did a whole load of crypto payments for that event. So yeah, and we did. Oh yeah, we did.
I think you have done a lot of
Yeah,
it.
we
I
did
mean,
Milan. I'm trying to think. What's that
yeah.
Milan? The art festival in Milan. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a massive art festival. And we did pay crypto on ramping for that as well. Yeah, so we do it, but I mean, in terms of it tends to work better online. It tends to work a lot better online. Is what I was trying to say, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because yeah, the main problem it's like I also had some experience with places who said like Bitcoin accepted or
Yeah.
cryptocurrency payment
Bitcoin
accepted.
doesn't work.
Usually
It's
like
too
this means
slow.
it.
Too
Yeah,
slow.
I know how.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know how to send it.
Yeah.
I know how do I get to make the
Yeah.
payment, but the person working there, it's like it's not specific to crypto
Yeah.
as well. I mean, like in some places here we have in Turkey multiple options.
Yeah.
Like there are different brands providing online payment
Ah, of course you
services.
do. Yeah, in
Even if you
Turkey,
ask
yes, you're much
one
more
of
used to
them.
it than. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's more
Yep.
normal there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but even if you ask them to like, hey, can I pay with like ABC
Yep.
Pay, for
Yep.
example, they're like, I don't know how to turn on the terminal.
There you
I don't
go.
know if
Yeah,
the
that's the
terminal is
thing. Yeah,
working.
that's and
Yeah, that's the main
that's an
problem.
everyday thing that is still an obstacle for everyday people to get involved. However, it
Mhm.
depends what kind of transaction you're doing. If you're doing a transaction that doesn't need to be confirmed for 20 minutes, if it's a certain amount of value transaction and you pay, let's say you pay a couple of dollars in transaction fee, and actually that turns out to be a pretty good deal, then that's fine, and blockchain can do that. But using stablecoins on something like Tron, using stablecoins on something like Binance Chain, is almost costless and almost instant. So we have got the technology that's already there, and we can already use that. So, but yeah, if Bitcoin network, yeah, it's. I mean, Lightning Network. I don't know. Have you used Lightning Network yourself?
I haven't used it. I don't plan on using it.
And do you know
Uh,
anyone who has? I mean, this is the thing. It's
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
anyone
We're
who
not sort of
uses it.
working to try and integrate that at the moment because we just don't see people using it. And I know that when I go to Bitcoin Miami, it'll be the big hot topic as usual. But we haven't seen the progress there, and we don't see people picking it up.
but it's because the main idea of Bitcoin is that people think or assume that it's so
Yeah.
decentralized, and it's, how do I say, it's like the main crypto out there.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be cheap, but it has to be just like digital gold. It stays there. It's the, how do I say, biggest one out
Yeah, the
there.
biggest store
So
of
people's
value. Yeah.
expectations are,
Yeah.
yeah, right now I am not seeing anyone who wants to make payments with Bitcoin. I mean, this is how it started, but right now
Yeah.
I don't see anyone who is willing to make payments with
Yeah, I mean, I
Bitcoin.
think we've seen the
uh
whole trajectory of Bitcoin change over 10 years, haven't we? The idea
yep.
that it was peer-to-peer cash, and now it's seen as a store of value. I think there are 100 reasons why Bitcoin works, and I think there are some reasons why Bitcoin is going to always be problematic.
Hmm.
But I think, more flexible systems like Ethereum actually have bigger potential ultimately,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, my opinion here is that I don't believe in one chain wins it all.
Mm,
It's
mm.
basically like, you have a cell phone, you have a car that carries you around, you have a, how do I say, desktop computer or some MacBook that you're using. It all depends on your
Yeah,
needs.
and you,
Some
you
person
make
might not have a desktop computer. It's
and you're
like
making
all of them are
decisions
different
about which
technologies.
network, which brand you're using all the time, aren't you? And why not so with your
Exactly.
currency, or your tokens for participation in a certain activity or a certain group. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of one chain to rule them all, it would make life a lot simpler if people were, over the course of the last couple of years, if people had just been looking at one particular network, one particular token. The whole world was focused, oh, what does that do? But when they look and they see there are 10,000, it sort of makes them think, oh, well, I can't even begin to understand what they do. So it is a problem that there isn't more consolidation to some degree in terms of global adoption, but I think also where we are at this point in time is it makes total sense that we would not have consolidation, that you'd have so many different network and developers trying so many different things and finding parameters limiting within certain other networks. So they go and build their own. So I think it's a necessary step, but I do think we do have to see some more consolidation from what we have now. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, like, I am just relating it with the real life.
Yeah, you're
It's
absolutely right.
like I am 100% sure that we would have something like McDonald's out there. It would be
Yeah,
like one of the biggest
yeah,
blockchains. Everyone in the world would know it. If they need some acceptable quality of burgers in the sense of blockchains, they would go and use that. But also, I am thinking that there would be some other small chains, like those Hardee's, maybe Burger King, not so small. But then there would be, yeah, but then there would be like at your favorite burger place as well.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be like the best one out there. It could
Well, like
even
your
be a
local
local
one.
blockchain specific to,
Yeah,
yeah, some
for your local
region. Because,
community.
like, yeah, you don't know it. I
Mm,
mean, like, this is still, how do I say, the early days of this technology.
yeah,
We're still trying on things. We're still trying to
yeah,
understand the user experience. We are still trying to raise the
yeah,
adoption. So once there is adoption, I don't know. People might be coming up with different chains. Someone might be coming up and saying like, "Hey, this is my favorite chain," and then the other one would be like, "Hey, this other chain is my favorite chain." So we are like, I am personally, and my project Omchain is like, we're personally all okay with this, and we're like, whoever can build a
yeah,
chain with some added value, just build
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And with time, we will realize whether the people are willing to buy your token,
Yes.
or willing to use your blockchain. If they use it, that's nice. You provide some service. If they don't use it, I'm sorry for your blockchain, but like, it was just
Yeah, it was
not so
unnecessary.
valuable
Yeah,
in the eyes of,
yeah. The market
in the eyes of
decides. Yeah, the
clients.
market decides.
Mhm.
If there is
Exactly,
a position
exactly.
for it, there's a position for it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's that's
Um,
that's my point of view.
so
Yeah. So just one
yeah,
last thing that I want to ask for you before we end
mm,
this space. What is next for the Alchemy Pay? Because we ask this question to everyone
mm-hmm,
because we want people to know what's next coming with the Alchemy Pay.
mm.
Give us maybe hints. Give us maybe some announcements, news, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
surprises. I don't know if not confidential.
So, so yeah, we did actually just release our roadmap. So I think I'm going to be hard pushed to sort of give you an exclusive when that code came out a couple of weeks ago.
No, no, no. I mean, like, if you can't give anything
Yeah,
exclusive,
yeah.
anything private,
So
just don't
no,
give
no,
it. But
fine. So
if you, yeah.
at the moment, yeah, we're really focused on getting more licenses for certain areas, and the reason for that is not because we can't operate in certain areas, but when you're licensed, you reduce your risk. Yeah, in the eyes of traditional finance, so your fees for conducting transactions are a lot lower depending on your risk profile. Yeah, from the point of view of traditional finance. So we're really intent on going through, well, finishing the applications and hopefully getting positive result for a number of different areas, key to different continents around the world. So we already hold 5 licenses, but we're still after a few more. Then channels in lots and lots of different areas. So if I just think, India, Africa, Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, United Arab Emirates. We now have actually added channels for that. New Zealand, Australia. Australia is a big place for crypto adoption. And then in Q2, at some point in Q2, we're going to have the launch of our app. That's really going to begin with the launch of the wallet, which will have like basic swap features, and then the on and off ramp. So actually, that'll be direct to customer as well. So we're really excited about that. And then second half of the year, there's actually going to be lots of developments in terms of that app as well. But the main thing is the on and off ramp at the moment. Yeah.
That's really
What about?
cool.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So if anyone
It was
wants,
an awesome
it
talks.
was very good talk. So yeah, what shall I leave the listeners with? So obviously you know our Alchemy page, Alchemy Pay, Twitter, Alchemy Pay, and then alchemypay.org is our website. And really, any developers who want to get in touch, who don't know the whole process for getting an on-ramp plugin on your application, on your website, it's super simple. Just talk to our team and we can get you sorted out, no problem at all.
Yeah, I can from my personal experience say you guys that they're really nice people.
Cool.
We have had a meeting. Yeah, they're a real nice team. And again, it's just like I mean, like, if you are following the Alchemy Pay Twitter account, please just go and follow
Yeah, I think
them.
that's a
I
great
mean,
idea.
it's
Now,
not
that
really.
is some serious
Yeah.
advice that everyone should listen to. I do agree. Yeah, thank you, Osman.
Yep, you're
Great.
welcome. Anything else you want to add before we end this space? Because I just want to mention one last thing after you have the,
No, just thanks very
final
much,
word.
Omchain, for having us. Really a pleasure to be able to chat to you and your community. Thanks for the chat today, Os. And yeah,
Yep.
thanks to all the listeners today. And yeah, keep an eye on our Twitter space. You'll see plenty of activity
Thanks a lot.
going on. Yeah, thanks, Osman.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys, that is the end of the fourth episode of season 2 of Omchain Talks. We have one final announcement. Thanks to Rob for joining us today. We are going to be burning 1 million coins for calculation on behalf of Omchain Talks. We will keep up with the token burns just to, have you guys hyped up and listen and learn more about projects like Alchemy Pay. Thanks a lot again, Rob, for joining us.
Thanks,
Have a
man.
great
You
day.
too. All the best. Bye bye.
Bye.
actually added channels for that. New Zealand, Australia. Australia is a big place for crypto adoption. And then in Q2, at some point in Q2, we're going to have the launch of our app. That's really going to begin with the launch of the wallet, which will have like basic swap features and then the on and off ramp. So actually that'll be direct to customer as well. So we're really excited about that. And then second half of the year, there's actually going to be lots of developments in terms of that app as well. But the main thing is the on and off ramp at the moment. Yeah,
That's really
what
cool.
about? Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So if anyone wants,
It's an awesome
yeah,
talk.
it was a very good talk. So yeah, what shall I leave the listeners with? So obviously you know our Alchemy page, Alchemy Pay, Twitter, Alchemy Pay, and then alchemypay.org is our website. And really, you know, any developers who want to get in touch, who don't know the whole process for getting an on-ramp plugin on your application, on your website, it's super simple. Just talk to our team and we can get you sorted out, no problem at all. On your application, on your website, it's super simple. Just talk to our team and we can get you sorted out, no problem at all.
Yeah, I can from my personal experience say you guys that they're really nice people.
Cool.
We have had a meeting. Yeah, they're a real nice team. And again, it's just like you know, I mean, like if you are following the Alchemy Pay's Twitter account, please just go and follow
Yeah, I
them.
think that's a great
I mean,
idea.
it's
Now
actually
that is some serious
yeah.
advice that everyone should listen to. I do agree. Yeah, thank you, Osman.
Yep, you're
Great.
welcome. Anything else you want to add before we end this space? Because I just want to mention one last thing after you have the
No, just
you know.
thanks very much, Omchain, for having us. Really a pleasure to be able to chat to you and your community. Thanks for the chat today, Osman. And yeah,
Yep.
thanks to all the listeners today. And yeah, keep an eye on our Twitter space. You'll see plenty of activity
Thanks a lot.
going on. Yeah, thanks, Osman.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys, that is the end of the fourth episode of season 2 of Omchain Talks. We have one final announcement. Thanks to Rob for joining us today. We are going to be burning 1 million coins for circulation on behalf of Omchain Talks. We will keep up with the token burns just to, you know, have you guys hyped up and listen and learn more about projects like Alchemy Pay. Thanks a lot again, Rob, for joining us.
Thanks,
Have
man.
a great
You
day.
too. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.